right, for those of you who just finished watching Indiana knock off Ohio State, we welcome you to Cincinnati, where the Xavier Musketeers have the early 7-5 lead. That's Nick Baum. My name's Kevin Kugler. Wonderful to have you with us today here at the Cintas Center. It's been a quick start for Xavier on the offensive end, but they've lived outside the arc so far.
It's good and bad. You know, Xavier's gotten some clean looks, but a lot of them been from areas where they don't want to be, and that's beyond the arc. So Xavier needs to resist the temptation to jack up the first open three they get. They have to play inside out, and that's always tough as a coach, where you want the guys to play confident, but you also got to play with intelligence of where your bread's buttered.
And here's why you have to play inside out. Look at the numbers. Xavier not near the three-point shooting team that Creighton is, but Xavier a much better rebounding team than the Bluejays.
Yeah, that tells the tale. Xavier, the bigger, more physical team. Xavier wants to own the paint and own the glass and play inside out. And Creighton wants to get the pace of this game going and live from beyond the arc.
And Xavier started going inside. Very first basket of this ball game.
Well, look at how deep Tyreek Jones caught that post up. That was inside the restricted area, so no double team could come. And then on the first possession of the game for the Blue Jays, it's what they want to do. Want to get a piece of the paint, kick it out to the shooters, and Ballock tees one up and knocks it down. So it is really a battle of contrasting styles here this afternoon in Cincinnati.
We've got this game well covered at the Cintas Center. Third member of our crew is Andy Katz. Andy.
Well, Kevin, the key word that Travis Steele used at shoot-around today was choppy. He wants this game, as you guys just mentioned, he wants it to be a little bit more ugly, more physical, control that tempo, make sure it's in the half court. Creighton, we know they want to get up and down. And look, the last two games, they've scored under 60 points, which is not the norm for them. And when I asked Greg McDermott what has happened offensively, he says, look, we've had good shots. They just haven't gone down in the last couple of games.
Andy, thanks very much. Teams go a little bigger off the timeout. Zach Fremantle in for Xavier, and Kelvin Jones, big post transfer in for Creighton.
I think Fremantle is the next great Xavier big.
A little bobble, tough to handle for Jones, and it's out of bounds to Xavier.
See, and the one thing with Jones that's different than Bishop. So with Bishop, that's a lob to the rim. With Jones, he's not as vertically gifted as Bishop, so you have to go with the bounce pass, and sometimes those are tough to handle. And Jones bobbles it out of bounds.
Early concern for the Blue Jays, Nick, 3 turnovers.
And that's the athleticism and length and strength of Xavier. And when Creighton gets into the lane, the Musketeers going to be pawing at the ball.
Marshall enters it to Fremantle, and a turnover right back to the Blue Jays.
But I like that thought, trying to post up Fremantle. He had position. He was going to be able to turn, go over his right shoulder and convert. It's where the ball has to go.
Xavier has not been able to cash in on any of the 3 Blue Jay turnovers. No points off those turnovers yet. Alexander driving to the rim. Can't get that to go. It's been a little slow going of late for Ty-Shon Alexander and the rest of that Creighton backcourt.
Where the importance of transition really is the story. Alexander, Zegorowski, Ballock, outstanding in the open floor. And Butler and Nova did a really good job of keeping Creighton in the half court.
Kiki Tandy, tough shot, rebounded by Denzel Mahoney. We'll see a lot of the freshmen today, though, in Kiki Tandy.
Very important. Tandy shooting 50% from 3 over his last 4 games. And one thing Xavier doesn't do is shoot it well from 3. So it's an area of the game they really need help, and Tandy can provide it.
Trying to hold his ground under there is Carter. Strong Denzel Mahoney is fouled, and he's going to the line. The strength of Mahoney very evident down there as Carter tried to hold his own.
And Denzel Mahoney was a Southeast Missouri State transfer that just became eligible at semester. So he's still finding his way in this Creighton offense. Averaged 19 points per game at Southeast Missouri State. Big, physical, versatile 4-man. Has not shot it well from 3, but was a 40% three-point shooter at Southeast Missouri State.
First foul on Fremantle, and one more free throw coming for Denzel Mahoney. He was a prolific scorer in the OVC. 19 points per game, 83% at the line, over 41% from three-point range. He has not shown that kind of shooting ability yet at the Big East level.
And Mahoney was 19th in the country in free throws made 2 years ago. So he gets to the line a lot, too.
Marshall kicks it back out to Gooden for 3. 1 for 7 behind the arc for Xavier.
Get it. It's wide open, but you got to resist the temptation to take that shot. But it's hard, though, because whenever you're turning down open shots, the fluidity of the possession comes to a grinding halt. But that is taking the bait if you're Xavier. 1 for 7 from 3.
They missed their last 5 from out there. Marshall with the foul, his first, team's second. Sharif Mitchell will enter the game for the Blue Jays. He has not scored in 5 straight games. The true freshman's really seen his numbers dwindle of late.
It's a process to earn the trust of the coaching staff. It's one thing to play in the non-con. It's another thing when conference games come around. And the thing with Xavier, playing through the post could manufacture driving and other shot opportunities because a post double is going to come.
Scoreless over the last 3 minutes and change as the foul underneath goes on Kelvin Jones. That'll be his first.
Jones is important in this game. Physical, tallest Blue Jay. It's an all-hands-on-deck approach in that front line to battle these big Xavier front lines dudes.
Najee Marshall trying to get it inside. Fremantle was battling down there with Jones. 60 shoot Marshall. Tough jumper, but it falls.
That's more in the range of where Xavier wants to live. I like Marshall and Scruggs backing down the smaller Blue Jay guards and try to operate with their back to the basket to score or spray it out.
Ballock chased around the screen all the way to the rim. Jones there for the follow.
Xavier with Fremantle and Tyreek Jones, they're going to come to block shots. And when you got guys that are rotating to block shots that can leave the rim vacant for rotation rebounds.
First points in the paint for the Blue Jays, and it comes on an offensive board. Marshall against Mahoney. Najee Marshall, tough pass. It's tipped out of bounds by Ballock.
When you look at Najee Marshall, you're going to see Zegarowski come late with that post-double team. It's too late. Marshall's already got to that mid-range. And then you look at the pick and roll. Jones is going to roll and attract multiple defenders when Zegarowski comes around. So it creates a rotation rebound opportunity. So all the pick and roll action creating it for the Blue Jays.
Early lead for the Jays, and it's been the bench that's helped him as Tandy tries the 3. That won't go. And Bishop the rebound. 5 points off the bench for Creighton. Ty-Shon Alexander trying to get it going. That's a screen foul against Bishop.
Oftentimes that's on the ball handler. You know, sometimes you want to play cat and mouse and refuse the ball screen and kind of play peekaboo to see where the defender's at. But when you're doing that much dribbling, Bishop's trying to roll to the basket, and so you can be moving. But Mitchell's trying to heat up Tandy, isn't he?
And that's what Sharif Mitchell's going to do to earn playing time, is defend.
Well, this is where it's hard. Tandy's more of a scoring guard. He's not a natural point guard. But it's, you want to get him on the floor, and you don't want to take Scruggs off him.
Fremantle tipped out of bounds, 7 to shoot for Xavier. Steele was not happy after that last game against Seton Hall. I said, we got exposed tonight against Seton Hall. 9 first-half turnovers really doomed Xavier in that game. 3 to shoot. Scruggs trapped in the corner and a turnover. Live ball turnover. This is dangerous against the Blue Jays. Ballock run into the rim. That won't go. And the rebound scooped up by Xavier.
That's Ballock just hoping for a whistle. You know you got numbers. I'd like to see him stop maybe at 14 feet and shoot a little pull-up.
And a foul. Keep it on this end of the floor. That foul on Sharif Mitchell, and a timeout here in Cincinnati. For those of you watching on FS1, switch over to your local Fox station for the rest of this one. 1-point game at the Cintas Center. Fox College Hoops is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. 1-point game, the Creighton Blue Jays with the lead. And just a moment ago, Greg McDermott in the Blue Jay huddle.
That's a good aggressive play, Mitch, and we got to keep maintaining that aggression. But also, when we drive it in there, if we just jump stop, we got everything we want, right? All right, awesome job down here. Blockouts have been better, okay? Blockouts have been better. Communicate to us what you hear on that out-of-bounds play when he calls them. They're all looking to the bench. You need to look to the bench too, okay?
Well, take a look at this post double as Paul Scruggs is going to get to the baseline. Here comes the double team, and you got multiple Blue Jays rotating to the basketball, which creates the turnover. It becomes a triple team with the baseline, and that gets Ballock out in the open floor. What Coach McDermott was talking about was wanting to see Ballock come to a 2-foot jump stop, be under control where you can either draw a foul or kick it out.
Off the inbound, Scruggs cutting to the basket for an easy 2. Sixth lead change of this game. Nobody's led by more than 2. Nobody has scored 4 points in a row.
Exactly the complexion of the game that Travis Steele wanted. Wanted a grinder of a game.
Alexander got a glimpse at the basket but couldn't get the 3 to fall. Just 20% from 3 in Big East play for Ty-Shon Alexander.
I'm Alexander. I'm trying to get to the free throw line. See a couple go down, feel better about myself.
A rebound tipped out to Alexander. Xavier really struggling from behind the arc. They're 1 of 9. Zegarowski. That pinball's out into the arms of Creighton. Good
Job by Tyreek Jones. That's twice. He got cross-matched, once on Ballock and the other time on Zegarowski, but was there on the perimeter to contest the 3.
Tempo, such a key in this game. The pace of this game is favoring Xavier right now, Nick. Creighton 1 for their last 9, and Xavier turns it over. Andy Katz was listening in on the Travis Steele huddle a moment ago. Andy, what was Coach emphasizing in that huddle?
Well, before he got to their X and O's, he went right to trying to get another kill. And on the video board here at the Cintas Center, they've got stops and kills. If you get 3 straight stops on the defensive end, you get a kill. And so right now they've got 2 kills overall. And they view that if they get 7 kills a game, that's about a 90% winning percentage for Xavier.
Yeah, statistics bear it out. It's 92.7% of the time when they have 7 kills or more, they win the game.
It's a pretty remarkable stat that translates directly to winning. And something you'll hear is the student section will start barking when they get 2 stops and that third one's coming to get a kill. I love it. It's almost like a third down in football that gets everybody involved in the arena, and it gets the Musketeers thinking about defending.
Well, that's the heart and soul of this team. That's how they have to play.
That's what Travis Steele said. He said, we got to become an elite defensive team.
Jays are 1 for 5 from 3. Not a good sign if you're a Creighton fan. They have really struggled from behind the arc the last 2 games. Good look inside. Good collapse by Creighton defensively. Now the push to Ballock. Zegarowski got an open look. In and out, and Scruggs the rebound.
If you're Greg McDermott, you like the looks. I mean, you're getting open, clean threes in transition.
Gooden with an open look. That won't go. Boy, the rim has been slammed shut from deep for both teams. Alexander will try it inside. Jefferson nowhere to go with it. And Creighton will reset. Combined, these teams are under 30% shooting.
Both these teams know each other so well. That's how conference play is, so it's just hard to get good, clean looks.
And Zegarowski with a finish and a foul. He'll go to the line for 1 more.
And every once in a while, when the Jays do get cross-matched with Jones on a perimeter player, look at this. Jones is on Zegarowski. Instead of settling for a jump shot, try a little stop and go and get to the arc. And watch, look at the left shoulder of Zegarowski. Going to go into Tyreek Jones to initiate the contact to draw the foul. Good play from Zegarowski.
8 points against Nova in his last game. Zegarowski completes the 3-point play. And a 13-11 lead for the Blue Jays.
Too many threes taken for Xavier. Just point-blank period. And a lot of them have been open. You got to continue to play inside out. Here, trying to get a high low to Jones.
Now Jones inside. Back out. Scruggs back to Jones. And Kelvin Jones with good hands got a piece of it. Tipped out by Creighton.
But you saw what a post-up created. A collapse, a kick-out, a closeout, and a drive. So you have to be willing to post the ball up to create opportunities out of the post trap.
Xavier 4 of 8 from 2, 1 of 10 from 3 in this first half. Marshall, 8 to shoot, and an air ball 3 for Jason Carter. Shot clock's at 3. They're going to have to hurry. Gooden beats the clock, but can't get it to fall, and Alexander the rebound. 1 for 12 from 3, 0 for their last 10. Tough. Zegarowski turning the corner on Marshall.
That's the length of Marshall. Denying Zegarowski even wanted to try to get a layup.
Kelvin Jones with the hook, won't go. Offensive rebound opportunity and an offensive foul on Damian Jefferson. His first, team's fourth.
So again, it's tough, right? I mean, of the 12 three-pointers that Xavier's taken, all of them have been open. But that's part of Creighton's defensive game plan. Pack the paint, help drivers, trap the post. And so if you're Xavier, you got to start adjusting and trying to attack the paint a little bit more.
Marshall looking inside. Here's Tyreek Jones. And a foul on the floor on Kelvin Jones. That'll be his second, Creighton's fifth.
Something Travis Steele has had to start to do is almost call a set play every time down with this group. This team, while they're experienced, not a great decision-making team in terms of turnovers and shot selection. And when you're calling set plays, you at least can micromanage the reads, who's getting shots. So I think the dry erase board for Travis Steele is going to get a workout here this afternoon.
Marshall trying to go to work off the dribble. Nice find and a hammer for Tyreek Jones.
Yeah, Coach McDermott told Ballock to land on 2 feet and make a play. Najee Marshall, awesome 2-foot jump stop. Finds Tyreek Jones for the flush.
Zegarowski, baseline, won't go. And tie-up will keep it on this end of the floor. 10 total field goals, 9 total turnovers. But this one, emphatic at the rim. Tyreek Jones with the hammer to knock this game up in Cincinnati. Fox College Hoops is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Nick Bob for Creighton, it's the backcourt that really makes everything work.
It's the strength of this team, and it's how Creighton's built. And these 3 guys are absolutely electric. Do a little bit of everything. A little bit of rebounding, a little bit of block shots, a little bit of distribution. This is the best backcourt in the Big East Conference. Ballock, Alexander, and Zegarowski. And what they've learned to do is, you know, they're gym rats, and they impact the game beyond just the stats. Zegarowski, I think he's the most improved player in the Big East. He's one of the few point guards that checks all the boxes, can score and can distribute. You look at Ty-Shon Alexander, can really light up the scoreboard. He leads his team in rebounding. And then Ballock, an elite level shooter. He made 11 threes last year in a game against DePaul. And Ballock, in over 500 minutes of playing time this year, only 13 turnovers. Those 3 guys are really good players.
But a choppy game, which is what Travis Steele wanted. He wanted to make this game choppy. Mission accomplished. Now, I'm not sure he wanted to make it choppy by going a combined 2 of 18 from 3 for these 2 teams.
I think there are elements of this game that both teams don't like and both teams like.
Denzel Mahoney getting to the rim.
And that's what Mahoney can do. He's a mismatch at that 4 spot. He is quicker than Jason Carter. And so all that was to isolate a side and free up the baseline for a drive. That's one of the things that's interesting about today is Xavier plays 2 traditional bigs, and Creighton usually doesn't.
7 points off the bench for the Bluejays. That's given them a 2-point lead. Tandy driving inside, and that's an offensive foul. Kelvin Jones got in there playing with 2 fouls, and he took the contact.
Really good job by Kelvin Jones, who, although he's tall, he's not a great shot blocker. There's just a lot of blue jerseys inside the paint. Sets his feet, takes the charge. Now that was one that I think Kiki Tandy could have caught in rhythm and shot. And really been shooting it well from beyond the arc. Made 4 threes against St. John's, which were crucial in a win here at home.
Sharif Mitchell back out to Ty-Shon Alexander. And the Jays struggling from deep. 1 of 7 for Creighton, 1 of 12 for Xavier. Scruggs driving inside, and a foul on the floor. That'll go on Christian Bishop, and that's his second. So a little foul trouble inside for the Blue Jays, Nick. Bishop and Jones each with a pair.
That's why I don't know that Xavier need to go inside to get the bigs for Xavier in foul trouble. That's just where the ball needs to go to start their offense.
Well, now no bigs on the floor for Creighton. So you would think that inside game would be really critical for Xavier.
And this is where Creighton has to make sure they take advantage of this on offense. Spreading Xavier out, driving it, shooting threes.
Marshall at the free throw line. Ballock the rebound.
Well, this is tough. You got 5 guards on the floor. Oh, man. And Jefferson was open underneath the rim, and Ballock just missed him.
You mentioned a rare turnover for Mitch Ballock. Doesn't do it very often. But at least when he did it with a little flair.
Made it memorable. So here, Xavier has to crash the glass here. Yeah, when this shot goes up, there's got to be multiple white jerseys trying to take this thing off the rim.
Scruggs attacking on the baseline with the reverse. For Paul Scruggs, that's 7 points early.
You hear the barks from the Xavier Musketeer fans. One more stop gets a kill.
Be their 4th of the first half if they can get that stop. 3 consecutive stops equals a kill. Mahoney. And there is the kill. Scruggs tapping his knee.
Yeah.
Buckled a little bit on it. Tandy way off from deep.
Scruggs is really hurting.
Alexander turning the corner. Wild miss there, and that'll be a foul on Kiki Tandy. And Scruggs is going to go right to the bench. His knee buckled as he was over there on that left wing.
Weird play. Here's a good drive from Alexander. Once again, creates the rotation to our cameraman. Scruggs was immediately holding that knee, dribbling down the floor. It just gave out on him. He's getting looked at by the trainer right now.
Scruggs sits down. He's 3 for 3 today. The rest of the team's 4 for 21. They need him back out there. Absolutely. 8 to shoot for Zagorowski. The switch. Mahoney will try the 3. Way off, and the air ball caught by Fremantle.
And both teams just ice cold. Now by Jefferson fighting the post.
Back out to Gooden. Extra pass to Tandy. Now Marshall going baseline. In some trouble. 3 Blue Jays around, and a tie-up keeps it on this end of the floor. Possession arrow favoring Xavier.
Taking a look at it, his right knee kind of he tripped. Take a look at it, kind of caught his toe and tripped and almost fell, but he turned, immediately looked back at the coaching staff and pointed at his right leg. He was pointing at it again with his knee.
Fremantle. That deep 2 not going to go. Jefferson, and that pull-up puts Creighton on top.
Creighton can just seek out the mismatch. Sometimes it's with a guard, sometimes it's with a player like Jefferson with Tandy on him. Just easy back down score.
Marshall's 3 rims off to Jones. 1 for 15 from 3 for Xavier.
Good thing, though, Xavier's defending. And Zagorowski makes it.
Xavier's missed 13 straight. The Jays finally hit one, and it's a 5-point Creighton lead in the timeout.
But first, Jefferson Sees the mismatch with the smaller freshman Kiki Tandy, backs him down, and then Zegarowski's got the big man on him, and Zach Fremantle buries the triple.
Coming up on the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report, third-ranked Kansas and the college hoops world learned Baylor is for real. An early start didn't prevent Auburn from remaining unbeaten. And number 11, Ohio State is in a tailspin. Kevin, Nick, we'll see you guys at the break.
Rob, sounds good. 3:56 remaining in this first half. Creighton with a 20-15 lead over the Xavier Musketeers.
Well, take a look at how far Marcus Zegarowski is off Quentin Gooden. Marshall wants to drive here, but Gooden's 0 for 6 from 3 and shooting 29% on the season. So you plug up that driving lane, and ultimately it lands into a contested 3 from Marshall, but the whole set play gets stuffed right away because Zegarowski's in the help gap, helping out of Quentin Gooden.
See some numbers that are not exactly going to make offensive purists very excited, especially from 3. 3 for 25 combined for these two teams. Maybe the re-entry of Paul Scruggs into the lineup will help Xavier. He's back out on the floor. And he gets the touch immediately and blocked by Kelvin Jones.
Creighton's starting to find a little bit of rhythm offensively. Travis Steele wanting to slow that down with a timeout.
Ballock with the 3, and that's good. Back-to-back makes for the Bluejays, and their largest lead of the game, an 8-0 run.
Well, Xavier twice in ball screen situations backed up off the arc. You cannot do that. You have to run the Bluejays off the line. Zegarowski knocked one down, and Ballock gets another one.
Carter, he'll try to answer, and he answers with a 3. 2 for 16 now, Xavier from deep, but that's a big refuge.
It's not like you can not shoot a 3 for the rest of the game, but you just got to take the right ones.
Ballock off the fake, flips it over his shoulder to Alexander, and Ty-Shon Alexander gets 2 as a result.
Take a look at this ball screen. See how Gooden gets caught underneath it, Kevin? Can't do that. And Tyree Jones tried to save him to get back out, and it's too late, and Gooden drills it. Or Ballock drills it, excuse me.
Just a moment ago, Travis Steele was talking with his team in the huddle. Andy Katz was eavesdropping. What'd you hear, Andy?
Well, that's exactly what Travis stressed. He's toward the end of the huddle, he says we cannot give up uncontested threes, especially threes in transition. But then he ended it kind of positively and said, make sure you guys stay with it. We're right there, and have some fun out there.
Our officials have headed to the monitor after the play. Is there a question that Ty-Shon Alexander got tied up after the play underneath?
First of all, pretty spectacular kick out from Ballock. Gooden immediately going for his jaw, as there might have been some inadvertent contact. Watch as Alexander is going to that off
there.
arm. Doesn't look like much. Might have been a little Hollywood from Quentin Gooden.
Ty-Shon Alexander with 4 points.
And Andy brought up the whole, remember to have fun out there. I know that seems like we're talking about like third grade basketball or something, but when you're shooting at this poor and you have 18 points, you got to try to find a way to keep morale high. And basketball is a game of rhythm and confidence. And Xavier's lacking some rhythm and some confidence right now.
Here's Quentin Gooden. Nice feed finish, Tyree Jones. Inside the arc is where Xavier needs to make their hay.
Paint, touch, paint, touch, paint, touch. Whether it's via the dribble drive or post up.
Mahoney in some trouble. Crowd wanted to walk. Here's Ballock turning the corner. Gets free at the free throw line for 2.
Oh, man. Travis Steele's upset. Looked like there might have been a travel and then a little bit of a push-off from Ballock.
Jays 5 for their last 5 from the floor, so the offense starting to get into rhythm for Creighton late in this first half. Jason Carter.
And Jason Carter's capable. Was a 34% three-point shooter last year at Ohio. Only shooting about 30% this year. But he's got a good, clean-looking stroke. And again, that's within the flow of the offense for Xavier.
Zagorowski back to Ballock. Catch and shoot, and Creighton feeling it now. 6 for their last 6.
Well, Xavier, you cannot turn in ball watch at all. On penetration, Creighton wants to kick it out. They want to attract multiple defenders and leave the three-point line vacant.
Tipped out. They will stay with Xavier. Ballock 8 points over the last 2.5 minutes, Nick.
Getting it going. Look at the little, almost got a little bit of a push off there. And then the kick out. Scruggs. Just too little, too late. And you have to be into Ballock's body and close that airspace, because if he's got an inch, it's going up.
Under a minute remaining in this first half. Scruggs attacking, and Scruggs finishing. He's got 9 first half points.
A great take. Just a strong guard.
And Ballock again.
Well, you see how wide open the lane was? I mean, it's hard. You know, you get so pressed out on the three-point line, but you still have to be able to guard your guy. And that's something Ballock worked a ton on in the offseason, was finishes at the rim.
Marshall steps through, left it short. Rebound to Carter. Scruggs on the drive. Tough catch from Marshall, but he gathers and finishes. And a timeout taken by Creighton. 5-point lead for the Blue Jays. Waning seconds of this first half. Welcome back to Big East Basketball, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Kevin Kugler, Nick Baugh, Andy Katz, our entire Fox crew on hand at the Cintas Center. 12.6 seconds remaining in the first half. Creighton with a 5-point advantage. The Blue Jays, over the last 4.5 minutes, have combined with Xavier to find some offense all of a sudden. First 15 minutes and 30 seconds, the team shot 25%. The last few minutes, 80%.
That's a great one to get the final shot here of the half.
Zagorowski. And that's a turnover with 1.4 seconds remaining until halftime.
Xavier's length has had Zagorowski second guessing when he gets into the lane. I think that was the one that Zagorowski could have gone up with and shot.
Long pass for Scruggs. And now Alexander almost heaved it from three-quarter court. It would have counted had it gone. Mitch Ballock, the first half star for the Jays. 13 points, 10 of those 13 in the final 3.5 minutes. And Mitch Ballock's surge has propelled Creighton to a 5-point lead at the break, and Andy Katz is with Greg McDermott.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Greg, how did your team find its offensive rhythm over the last couple of minutes?
Well, we had good shots, Andy. We just missed them. And as long as we have the right guys shooting the right shots, I'm okay. And fortunately, the defense kept us in it until we started making some. And unfortunately, the defense left us the last 2 minutes.
What do you need to stress when you get in that locker room?
Well, we have to continue to play it without fouling, number one, and keep them off the line. And then we got to do our best to stay even on the backboards.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Andy, thanks very much. That's the end of the first half. Our score, Creighton 32, Xavier 27. We'll send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles for the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report right after this. You're watching Big East Basketball on Fox. Grab that last snack and head back to your seats. About time to get the second half underway here in Cincinnati, where Creighton leads Xavier 32-27. Check out our first half stats sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. You see the struggles for Xavier from behind the arc, and you see the job Creighton has done on the glass, Nick Baugh. 22-18, out-rebounding Xavier, who has only gotten 9 points combined from three-point land and the free throw line. And we welcome you back courtside. That is Nick Baugh. I'm Kevin Kugler at a surprising first half that took us to a 5-point game at the break.
Yeah, neither team had a great offensive rhythm, although I thought Creighton was getting better shots throughout the first half and got a little bit loose late. But Creighton hanging in there on the glass. Xavier settled for far too many threes. Needs to be a lot of post touches and a lot of dribble drives for the Musketeers in this second half.
Second half about to get underway, and Mitch Ballock is the reason Creighton has the lead. He got hot late.
5 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. He started taking advantage of being really aggressive when he had mismatches with some bigger Musketeers on him. And he's a much improved player getting to the rack. Really good first half from Ballock.
Scruggs with 9 points to lead the way for Xavier. Nothing doing for Quentin Gooden in that first half. 0 for 6 from the floor as the Xavier Musketeers down 5. Travis Steele, the head coach of Xavier. Andy Katz, you had a chance to talk with Coach Steele. What did he have to say?
Well, Kevin and Nick, he said, look, we got to stay confident at the three-point line, continue to take them, but take the right ones. Also wants them to work inside and then out, establish that inside first. And as you guys said, we've got to find Ballock on the three-point line. Back to you guys.
Jefferson on the drive, rejected by Carter, and Scruggs saves it for Xavier.
And it's a good point from Travis Steele about taking the right threes. It's not that you want to say never take another three for the rest of the game, but they got to be within the framework and flow of the offense. And I think oftentimes posting up first is the way to go.
That's where they went on the first possession of the first half. They go back inside on the first possession of the second half, and the follow by Najee Marshall gets Xavier back on the board.
And that's where Xavier needs to continue to go. Good things can happen out of that double team, whether you get open jump shots, rotation rebounds, or driving opportunities.
Ballock got caught in the air. He'll try again. Boy, is he feeling it right now. And when he's feeling it, there are a few better shooters in college basketball.
Well, what he does, he really moves to hunt shots well. Whether that's moving off of penetration, off of screens, that was pretty.
Alexander changed that shot a little bit for Tyreek Jones. It'll stay on this end of the floor, though, with Xavier.
Well, look at this post-double team. Gooden's going to cut. You got to have multiple Blue Jays taking away the paint. Everybody's ball watching. Gooden doesn't stand on the three-point line because he's 0 for 6. Instead, he cuts and gets a layup.
Trying to get inside to Jones again, and that's a foul on Damian Jefferson.
I'm telling you, Creighton's got no answer for Jones if they keep on pounding the ball inside. Going to draw fouls. Going to get opportunities out of the double. I really like the first couple possessions from Xavier here.
Clearly a concerted effort to go inside and reestablish yourself down low.
17 of the first 33 field goal attempts in the first half from Xavier were threes. And that's just too many long-range jumpers for a team that's not a great three-point shooting team.
Right back inside, Jones able to secure it, tries to muscle it up, and Carter's there for the tip.
And the other thing that's hard to do is rebound out of a post trap because guys aren't matched up.
There's Ballock off the fake.
Job by Marshall to recover on Zegorowski. You could tell Zegorowski wanted to probe. He couldn't find anything.
Alexander will try. That three falls for Ty-Shon Alexander, who really struggled in the first half.
That's where Jones needs to be ready to emergency switch out. As a Musketeer tried to fight over that screen, and Alexander refused it and went the other direction. You just got to be so aware, Kevin, on the three-point line if you're helping out and your guy's a screener.
8 to shoot. Marshall driving inside, and Marshall gets hit hard. That foul on Zegorowski. Number 1 on number 11.
Again, 0 free throw attempts in the first half from Xavier. The bigger, more physical team to have 0 free throw attempts might be the ultimate stat that tells the tale of how much they were settling.
Relying on that outside shot. That first attempt of the game goes off for Najee Marshall, who's 74% on the year, was 7 for 7 from the line on Wednesday in the loss to Seton Hall.
Just love the first handful of possessions, though, from Xavier. Post-ups, drives, really good start to the second half for Travis Steele's crew.
Talked about it earlier. It's the backcourt that gets it going for Creighton, and it's been the backcourt that's brought them into the lead. Ballock at the end of the first half. Alexander's hit a 3 in the second half. Here's Zegarowski trying to get it going, and he does as well.
Get the mismatch on the switch in the ball screen, and it's just tough for Tyree Jones to have to guard Marcus Zegarowski. Little step back jumper.
Largest lead of the day for the Blue Jays. Carter looking for the answer. Can't find it. Jefferson will start it up for Creighton.
Got the switch again. So Jones is on Zegarowski in the corner.
Zegarowski going to work, goes past Jones, can't get it done, but Bishop there with the follow, and a double-digit lead for the Blue Jays. Props and timeout for the Musketeers.
Well, Kevin, Creighton taking advantage of these mismatches on the perimeter. A little rotation rebound for Christian Bishop, and the Jays are getting it going here in Cincinnati.
A Big Ten doubleheader tips off Friday on FS1 beginning at 6:30 Eastern as Wisconsin takes on 8th-ranked Michigan State. The number 19 Michigan battles Iowa. Both matchups are also available on the Fox Sports app. Some college basketball news and notes. Butler 3-0 in Big East play. They get the win over Providence. Auburn remains undefeated, pounding Tom Crean and Georgia's team 82-60. And is this finally the year? Clemson visits struggling North Carolina. The Tigers are 0-59 all-time in Chapel Hill. This may be the year Carolina really struggled without Cole Anthony.
Yeah, it's a pretty bizarre year for the Tar Heels. And, you know, Auburn, they haven't played the toughest schedule, but you got to admire the fact that where you've seen a lot of teams with bad losses, Auburn's winning basketball games. That's got to be applauded.
And today's a good win. Tom Crean has a good basketball team with some real talent.
With Anthony Edwards of Georgia.
Nice feed from Marshall to Jones for a much-needed 2 for Xavier.
You can feel Xavier on the ropes a little bit. Need an answer, especially on this end. Creighton starting to take advantage of some of these switching ball screens from Xavier.
There's Ballock with 14 to shoot. Tough pass.
Bryce Moore's got to be able to get that one. That's the one he's got to be able to rotate and pick off.
5 to shoot. Alexander in the corner. Driving inside. 1 on the shot clock, and Marshall the rebound. Jays 11 of their last 14 after shooting 5 for 23 to start this game. Extra pass. Moore in the corner. That 3 dies to Ballock.
Don't mind that 3, though. It's out of a post double. A couple extra passes, and Moore's a capable shooter.
Jefferson. Brown thought he took an extra step. Officiating crew did not agree. Zegarowski. 9 on the shot clock to Alexander. 3 to shoot. Step back 3. In and out. Long rebound to Bishop. Here's Ballock. Bishop again, and the foul on the floor. Timeout in Cincinnati after the foul on Paul Scruggs. Blue Jays up by 9. 9-point lead for the Blue Jays on Xavier Hall of Fame weekend. The Athletic Hall of Fame display on the concourse here at the Cintas Center. They had the banquet last night, and then they introduced a class to the crowd here at halftime. Included 2 basketball players. Justin Dolman started all 4 years at Xavier, part of an Elite 8 team in 2004. Michael Hawkins, the point guard that scored over 1,000 points. 8 on the Xavier all-time assist list. 5 in all going into the Xavier Athletic Hall of Fame. And Michael Hawkins played from 91 to 95. Justin Dolman 2003 to 2007. We in fact dug into the archives. We found out Nick Baugh and Justin Dolman head-to-head on December 9th, 2006.
That's right.
Nick Baugh's right there, number 34.
I know.
Staying far away from Dolman.
Out of the way. Saying no way.
Nowhere to be found. He's like, I don't want anything to do with that big guy who's going into the Hall of Fame. I'll just stand over here. But I'm looking active. My knees are bent.
I had an opportunity in that game to rotate and maybe take a charge on Justin Dolman. But he was getting ready to dunk it, and I got out of the way.
Well,
I got out of the way, and Dolman hammered it home.
How smart, preserving your future television career. Don't want any damage to come to the face. My goodness.
Man, Justin Dolman was a heck of a player. Versatile, tall, could shoot, could pass. Just a great player.
Even then, Nick Bob very concerned. No touching of the face or hair. Everything else, we're ready to go.
I'm shocked that was by the basket. Usually I don't got it by the three-point line.
Mahoney will try from deep and scrubs the rebound. Xavier down 9. How did they get back into this thing, Nick?
Well, again, playing inside out. Really think posting up, Fremantle, Carter, even the guards. And again, it doesn't have to come with a touch here and a score. You can come with a trap and you can get opportunities out of it. But I like Xavier pounded it inside.
Bishop the handoff to Alexander. 10 to shoot. Mahoney attacking against Carter all the way to the rim. Marshall tips the rebound right back to it. And that ball out of bounds off the leg of one of the Blue Jays. And it'll go back to Xavier.
Creighton's starting to get a little stagnant offensively. Ball not popping around, trying to seek out dribble drives. Creighton 0 for their last 5 from beyond the arc. Got to get back to ball movement if you're the Blue Jays.
They were red hot towards the end of the first half and the beginning of the second. Hit 11 of 13 at one point. Cooled off a little bit. That's where we were at the beginning of the game on both sides.
And Xavier's got to start crashing and owning the glass. Getting some second chance opportunities.
Being out-rebounded by 5 as Scruggs finds room inside.
But so many people think when you throw it to the post has to automatically shoot it. No, it's sometimes you're making plays out of the post.
Really good work to get it down to Mahoney, who had position before Fremantle could get established.
How about that off of a made basket? Creighton pushing it back within 5-6 seconds. They're laying it in.
Bishop with a foul, his third. As Fremantle trying to make amends on the other end, got established early himself. Bishop leads with those 3 fouls. Sharif Mitchell returning as well for the Blue Jays. 5 field goals by 5 different guys in this second half for Creighton, but cold of late. Marshall with the fadeaway.
Well, that's too easy. Denzel Mahoney's got to be ready to fight the post. Marshall had him buried.
Here's Mahoney on the offensive end. Alexander at the foul line thanks to a screen from Jones. Marshall plucks the board, and now Xavier looking to push. Fremantle running the floor all the way to the rim.
Every once in a while, I know Xavier wants to slow pace, but you can probe a little bit.
And the Cintas Center coming to life.
That's Zegorowski off the floor, your floor general. You're a little disjointed.
Mahoney with the deep 2, and that falls. He's got 9. Denzel Mahoney trying to pick up a little of the slack.
It's a big shot because this crowd hasn't really been able to get into it. They're ready to explode, and that quiets them down.
Creighton's bench has been good today, Nick. 11 bench points for the Blue Jays, only 2 for Xavier. Marshall turns the corner, gets his own, battling inside, bucket and a foul. The inside game starting to get it going for Xavier.
The X-Men starting to flex their muscles inside. Najee Marshall, little post up, jump hook. Zach Fremantle running the floor, finishing it with the left hand. And then how about the strength from Najee Marshall through to contact. Musketeers fight back.
Tomorrow, the Seahawks and Packers renewed their playoff rivalry as Russell Wilson heads to Lambeau for a showdown against Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Divisional Round. It all starts at 6 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. 47-42, the Blue Jays by 5 a moment ago. Greg McDermott in the Creighton huddle.
Guys, we got 4 blue jerseys right there. Go get the ball. Go get the ball. Don't slap at it. Go get it. All right?
Well, look at this. Look at all of the blue jerseys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's throw another one in there. 5. Coach McDermott didn't give enough credit. Look at how many blue jerseys are in the paint. And the one white jersey, Najee Marshall, comes up with it. Great effort from Marshall, and it's something that Greg McDermott wants to see more effort from his guys.
Paint points starting to become a problem for the Blue Jays. 32 to 14 points in the paint for Xavier.
That's how Xavier's going to win this game. In the paint, on the glass. And the X-Men have started to flex their muscles a little bit.
4-point ball game. Creighton had stretched to a double-digit lead early in this second half.
These are crucial stretches for Creighton. Just stole about a minute's rest with Zagorowski. And then got a little bit of a breather here for Ty-Shon Alexander. And imagine it won't be too long before Ty-Shon Alexander re-enters the game.
But you saw the difference right there. Xavier slams on the brakes the minute they get the basketball. Double team in the post. Good pass out. Open three won't go, and Jones the rebound. Not a bad look though for Bryce Moore.
Absolutely. Again, that's where you can have kick-out threes or kick-out driving opportunities out of these post doubles.
3 for 20 though, Xavier behind the arc. To shoot, Ballock and Zagorowski. Has to fire the 3, and that long contested 3 not going to go. Good defense by Xavier. Now quick push to Fremantle. Fremantle blocked by Ballock. What a recovery. What a rejection. And Ballock on the other end with the 3. Jones the offensive rebound. Moore injured under the rim, and Mahoney with the finish.
And Travis Steele really wanted a foul on Ballock on the Fremantle dunk. Pretty big sequence there. Ballock erases a dunk. You get a crazy sequence, and it ends in a Mahoney layup.
10 minutes to go in this one. And Carter turning the corner, and that's a foul on Ballock.
So watch the run. Fremantle's taken off, and Ballock is too. Great effort running the floor by both guys. As you look at Ballock get to him, boy, it's tough to tell. I thought it looked clean to me, Kev. But that is great effort from Mitch Ballock.
Jones the rebound off the quick shot for Xavier. Now looking to push is Alexander. Alexander end-to-end floater, no. Rebound tipped around by Mahoney. Creighton gets a second chance, and that'll be a foul on Xavier. Paul Scruggs with his second team foul. Creighton's been whistled for 5.
Where if you're Xavier, you got to have a little bit of composure. You've kind of been knocking at the door of totally crawling back in this thing. Had a few things not go your way. You can't lose your cool and get outside of the framework of what you're executing on both ends of the floor.
Alexander got a wide open look. Scruggs down again, and the rebound pulled down by Jason Carter. Remember, Scruggs went in the first half. He tripped up the floor. Looked like he twisted his knee. He went down hard again on that possession.
Basically did the splits.
To be okay, though, as he goes to work offensively. The pull-up for Scruggs, rebounded, and then Jones lost it out of bounds.
This is where Travis Steele is usually really good in these baseline out of bounds situations, drawing up a good look. You've had issues scoring with your half-court offense. See what Xavier wants here.
Marshall trying to move Mahoney. Not an easy task, but Najee Marshall up to the challenge.
And Marshall has gotten 4 points on baseline out of bounds sets, all right in the paint.
Zagorowski. And Mahoney bumped by Jason Carter. his first.
You know it's a conference game. It is an eternity left, and it's starting to feel like every possession is huge.
It really is. And the crowd is playing into that as well. And it goes back to the point that we made at the top of the broadcast. Neither one of these teams wants to start 1-3. That is not a good recipe in a league that's loaded with good teams. Bishop to the rim. Nice drive by Christian Bishop. He's got 4.
That's the exact same play that Xavier runs. Just a little ISO out of the baseline of bounds situation. And Bishop with a hard drive and a finish.
Haven't seen much of Quentin Gooden lately. 0 for 7 from the floor, and Travis Steele's gone more with Bryce Moore as Marshall hits the 3. Najee Marshall is carrying this team. He's scored or assisted on 14 of the 21 Xavier field goals.
And a foul to kind of negate the momentum, but boy, is Marshall feeling it.
Second foul on Najee Marshall. Doesn't take away from what he's doing offensively. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists for Najee Marshall.
Yeah, he's looking like an all-conference player here. And his team needs every last bit of it.
Ty-Shon Alexander with 15 to shoot. Xavier lost the handle. Good hands by Jason Carter to bat it away. Marshall coming the other way. That goes off a foot and out of bounds to Creighton. Timeout on the floor, and it's Najee Marshall single-handedly bringing Xavier back.
He is starting to feel it. A little drive and another jump hook over Denzel Mahoney, and then Travis Steele runs a pick-the-picker for him. Fremantle screens. Marshall drains it.
Fox College Hoops is sponsored by the strongest, most advanced Chevy Silverados ever. Back in Cincinnati, Creighton 51, Xavier 48. Why is this game so important? Why does it feel so important in mid-January? Because when you look at the Big East standings, you're starting to see a gap form. Now, this gap can be closed. It's early, but Butler, Seton Hall, Villanova, Providence, all 3-1. If you go to 1-3, you've got a big hill to climb around a lot of good teams, and Najee Marshall's trying to make sure Xavier's not that 1-3 team.
Yeah, he's playing with some desperation, isn't he? Guy is just playing hard, has a nose for the ball, and a lot of these shots have been in the paint, and that opens up the perimeter jumper. Marshall's got 19 points, but 13 points in the second half. And he has been outstanding.
He scored or assisted on 7 of their 9 field goals in this half. The rest of the team has 8 points in the second half. Najee Marshall trying to lead this team back. And for the Creighton Bluejays, they're looking for Mitch Ballock. He's been scoreless over the last 11 minutes after carrying them to the halftime lead.
Well, I think Creighton's gotten stagnant. The ball's stuck on one side, a lot of dribble drives, not a lot of ball movement.
Here comes Ballock, the dump down to Bishop, and the rim. I'll use this because we have full permission from our man, Tim Branda. The iron unkind. It was unkind to both teams in the first half for most of the half. Moore, the 3 not going to go. Offensive rebound, Jason Carter. Marshall, his 3 may have been tipped by Jefferson, who runs out, and Moore into the table, trying to save it.
Almost took us out, Kev.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness you were there to save me, Nick Bob.
We'll take a look at the closeout. It does look like Jefferson got a piece of it. And then look at the effort from Bryce Moore. I mean, that's got football in the brain with the playoffs going on. That's a safety selling out. Got to make sure that you break it up.
And Bishop all the way to the rim for 2.
That's well designed. Xavier's starting to get aggressive on switching ball screens. One way to combat switching is to slip one, meaning the screener just runs straight to the rim.
15 to shoot for Scruggs. Bryce Moore looking inside. Here's Tyreek Jones. Carter with the fake. Scruggs inside. The dump down to Jones. Jones thought he was fouled. There is no call. The Jays get the stop, and they're going the other way.
Well, really active defensive possession from Creighton.
And there's a foul on Tyreek Jones. A little too much of the body. His second personal foul, team's fifth.
Creighton did a great job helping and recovering and scrambling. And this looked like it was going to be a Tyreek Jones dunk. Zagorowski got away with a foul. Whack Tyreek Jones on the top of the head, but refs missed it. Creighton gets a stop.
Ballock against Moore.
Yeah, Xavier's pressed down on the three-point line so much that it's forcing Creighton to be a one-on-one driving team, and that's not necessarily how they want to play.
6 to shoot. Alexander will try the three, and he hits. That's a giant shot for Ty-Shon Alexander.
Finally got a little bit of movement, right? Got it swung from side to side, got a screen. Just increases the chances of a miscommunication or someone not handling a screen right. And that time, Jones, no hedge, and Alexander makes him pay.
Marshall again, trying to get it all done for Xavier. 10 to shoot. Najee Marshall fouled by Jefferson. Number 3 on Damian Jefferson. Team foul number 6.
I think Najee Marshall has proven that if he gets the ball in one-on-one post-ups, he's going to score. And if you're Creighton, you got to be ready to come with a post double. If I'm Travis Steele, I'm continuing to go to Marshall.
Looking down to Jones against Bishop. Here's Scruggs. Moore with a three. That's not going to go. And the rebound to Alexander for the Blue Jays.
And Xavier just needs someone to step up and knock down one of these open threes.
They have struggled. Only 4 made threes all day.
It's not rocket science. I mean, sure, you want to try to work the ball inside, but at some point, someone's got to knock down a shot.
4 for 24, 1 of 7 in the second half. Alexander with 3 to shoot. He hits his second straight three. Ty-Shon Alexander feeling it. And just like that, the Jays are up 11. An 8-0 run prompts a Xavier timeout.
Mr. Ty-Shon Alexander getting it rolling, forcing Travis Steele. Call T.O.
Welcome back to Big East Basketball, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Creighton has extended the lead. They've changed the three to a 258-48. The Blue Jays by 10 with 4:40 remaining in this second half. They're looking at it just to confirm 3 or 2. On the board, they listed it as a 2, and I think that's what they're calling it here. Watch the right foot of Ty-Shon Alexander.
Certainly looks like foot was on the line. It's a 2, but Alexander back-to-back long-range jumpers. Xavier, 2 mental mistakes, not getting out on Alexander in pick-and-roll situations, and Alexander makes the Musketeers pay.
7-0 run for the Jays. The last 5 from Ty-Shon Alexander.
Got to be Najee Marshall time.
Scruggs trying to get it done, and there's the follow for Tyreek Jones.
Just haven't gotten enough of that today. The second chance points was an area that Xavier needed to dominate and just have it.
Up 1, 13-12. As Nick Baugh gets the feed on the sidelines.
I got it.
Still got the hands. They say that's the last thing to go.
Well, I don't have to move. I'm good. Got to get out there on Alexander and Ballock and Zagorowski. Just no margin for error.
Bishop with the slip to the rim, and he lays it in.
But that's the other side. And you get so creeped out thinking about the three-point line, you get a slip to the rim.
3rd assist for Ballock. Marshall, 15-footer, not going to go. And the rebound for Ballock. Now Creighton content to play a little slower if necessary. Up 10, 3:40 to go.
You'll never see Greg McDermott slam on the brakes too much, but right now wanting to milk a little bit of clock.
Bishop, the lob and the finish. Tough catch from Zegarowski, but Bishop made it look easy in the Jays by 12.
All of a sudden, Creighton's pick-and-roll game has started to pick apart Xavier. Get some threes, get some slips, and then the lob to the rim.
Xavier got it to within 3 as Keaton Tandy hits a rare Xavier 3, but a big one for the Musketeers.
Much needed. They needed someone to knock down a shot. Close. Looked like it might have been over and back with Ballock dribbling. Creighton's going to come with a ball screen. Got to be ready to handle this accordingly.
4 to shoot. Ballock. Giant 3 again. This team has found a huge shot each and every time they've needed it today.
That is a bomb from Ballock. What a tough shot.
First points in 16 minutes and 20 seconds for Ballock. And Scruggs, fouled by Alexander, will take us to a break. 2:26 remaining second half. Outside working for inside.
That's right. You start worrying about the three-point line. You get creeping out with these shooters. So what does that open up, Mr. Kugler? A little lob to Mr. Bishop, throwing it down. Jay's trying to close it out on the road.
(65-53) Creighton has extended the lead to 12 with 2:26 remaining in the second half. Time for Academic Ambition, sponsored by SoFi. Get your money right all in one app. For Xavier, 109 straight basketball seniors have graduated. Jason Carter, the graduate transfer from Ohio, he's currently working on his MBA, a degree in management and strategic leadership. Plenty of academic ambitions on the Xavier side. They'd like to find some offensive ambitions right now because they need plenty of offense with 2:26 to go, Nick Baugh, down by 12. We talked about at the top of the broadcast how these two teams were going to win this game, the outside-inside game. Entering today, Creighton the better three-point shooting team. That certainly has played out today. But Xavier the better rebounding team on the year. But look at today. Creighton certainly dominating three-point land, but the rebounding edge, it'd be the first time all year the Jays won the rebounding battle against the Big East foe.
I think that's the biggest stat of the day. Those two areas, the three-point line and the rebounding department, we're going to really tell the tale on this one. And the Jays have won both, and they're in position here to close this thing out on the road. Got to handle the ball because you imagine Xavier's going to get real aggressive here defensively.
Just the 4th free throw attempt of the day for Xavier, and they're 2 for 4 at the line as the timeout is used by Creighton with 2:19 remaining in the second half. And for the Blue Jays, of course, we know this is a three-point shooting team. They let it fly, and they got it going late in the first half. It's continued to this second half.
Well, it's just amazing when you're taking on a team like Creighton. It's hard because they force you into switches, and then they can make you pay. And if you make a mistake, even for one screen, they're lining one up and oftentimes knocking it down. And it's been all three of the guards leading the way: Alexander, Ballock, and Zegarowski. But don't forget about Christian Bishop. He's played well too, but you know, he's hit bombs all game. He had 13 points in the first half. Mitch Ballock did. A really good performance all the way around.
Creighton started 1 of 9 from 3 since 8 of 13 from behind the arc. Andy Katz, you were listening into the Xavier portion of the huddle. What was Travis Steele's message right now?
He's still very positive. Says it's too early to start fouling. Reinforced. They got to get a stop, and told them you got to play 40 minutes.
Well, they had 4 kills midway through the first half. They've only had 1 of their defensive kills, which is 3 consecutive stops since that time. Stops have been hard to come by. Zegarowski keeps his dribble alive on the slip. Ballock with another 3, and the rebound to Tyreek Jones.
They play with a little bit of urgency now offensively. Can have a long possession.
Any foul by the Jays sends Xavier to the free throw line for 1-1. Carter working against Bishop. The right-hand hook won't go. Offensive rebound, no. Tyreek Jones tries. That won't go. 3 opportunities for the Musketeers. And Zegarowski gets it across.
It's just hard to press these 3 guards. You know, they all can handle it. They're all pretty good decision makers. But Jason Carter on Zegarowski, just letting Zegarowski go to work.
4 to shoot. Zegarowski No. Rebound, Najee Marshall.
Numbers if you want it.
Xavier, since they cut it to 3, they've gone 2 of 11 from the floor. A minute left in this one as Scruggs will go to work. He'll get to the rim, and uncontested layup brings us to a timeout with 56.8 seconds remaining in this second half. Can Xavier muster one more late rally? The finale coming up. Xavier in the huddle. It's their final timeout taken a moment ago. They're down 10 with 56.8 seconds to go. Big East bracketology from our guru, Hall of Famer Mike DeCourcy. Butler, Villanova, Seton Hall, Creighton, Xavier, Marquette all in the field for Mike DeCourcy at this point, with Georgetown and St. John's in the last 4 out. Now, obviously, there's a ton of basketball left. We're just getting underway in conference play. For most teams, they've played now 4 games in conference play. But it speaks to the strength and the depth, Nick, of this Big East.
Well, the performance that the Big East had in the non-con in November, and in particular late December, what that does is it creates a lot of quality win opportunities in conference play. And Creighton on the verge of closing one out here on the road. Xavier does have 1 foul to give here, so they're going to be really aggressive in this trap. But Xavier out of timeouts.
Greg McDermott told us before the game that this league is as good a league as he's ever been. He's never been in one quite like this where everybody's good. Bishop able to get it across, and then a foul as Christian Bishop goes down. Just a 59% foul shooter, but that was the foul to give. And I think they're going to look at this one just to make sure there wasn't anything overly aggressive here.
As Carter was obviously trying to sprint back to foul. Well, that's tough. That's almost like a tackle. Take another look at it.
Does this qualify as excessive or severe contact during a live ball?
I think it does. I mean, I think by the language and how it's written, that fits the description.
That's the definition of a flagrant one. Involves excessive or severe contact during a live ball, including especially when a player swings an elbow or makes illegal non-excessive contact above the shoulders. Now, this wasn't above the shoulders, but if it goes under the excessive or severe contact during a live ball, this may qualify as a flagrant one.
And what's hard is, I don't think there's any malicious intent, and you understand what Xavier's trying to do. They're trying to foul. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a flagrant.
It's 2 shots in the ball with a flagrant one.
That's big.
Hope our guys in Green Bay tomorrow on Fox see as good a tackle as that one.
That was head up.
Perfect for
the ground. Perfect.
Now, Bishop, as I mentioned, not a great free throw shooter. You see there, just a 59% shooter. The explanation being given. What a second half, though, for Christian Bishop. 10 points, 4 assists in the second half as well.
He's had some big second halves. Misses both those free throws, but had a big second half at Arizona State in the road win. You pay so much attention to these guards that Bishop can hurt you as the roll man.
And he's not a bad ball handler. He's a high school point guard. He grew 12 inches when he got into high school. As Alexander is fouled by Najee Marshall. 85% shooter for Ty-Shon Alexander. So now for the Bluejays, who are on the cusp of evening their conference record at 2-2, they're actually going to hang around in Cincinnati for a day or two, then go on to Georgetown on Wednesday to play the Hoyas. Providence at home, then they're back on the road to DePaul. The return date with Xavier, which will be the all-access game on FS1, before February begins and we start really thinking about Big East tournament, NCAA tournament.
It's just hard, especially on the road. I mean, Creighton will have 3 of the next 5 on the road. Not easy.
This will be a big win if they can hang on for this one as Scruggs gets the 2. Xavier just lost their first game of the year at home on Wednesday to Seton Hall. 9-1 in this building. And it's traditionally one of the best home court advantages in college basketball. And for Travis Steele's team, they go on the road next, take on Marquette, back home for Georgetown before they go to Creighton, That's sort of that back and forth schedule that we see from the Jays. 3 of their next 5 away from the Cintas Center.
But I kind of echo what Greg McDermott was saying, that in this league, when it's so deep and so good, teams are going to have 2- and 3-game losing streaks. I think the whole key is to not ride the wave of emotion too badly. And Xavier last year was able to endure a few losing streaks and really hit their stride late. And Travis Steele's going to have to press the right buttons to make sure that these guys, the Musketeers, get back on the winning track.
And a foul going to be called. That'll send Tyreek Jones to the line. You got to wonder if in this league this year, it's going to be more difficult than usual to hold your home court advantage because teams are so good. And a lot of what these teams in this league do is portable. You know, Xavier's defense is going to go on the road. Creighton's three-point shooting usually goes on the road.
Well, let's call it like it is. In some leagues, there's usually a team or two not very good. Right. You know, having a down year.
Yeah, maybe you get a, you know, it's the game that you get to have the exhale if you're a team on the road.
Okay,
this played on teams like that. Not on the ones that you exhale against, no, but you go into those games.
Well, listen, you never want to say anything disparaging out loud, but I mean, there's always been a handful of teams each year in each conference that just are going through some issues. There ain't any team in this conference that's like that, so there is no relief. You look at these schedules, and usually in your mind you go, oh, that one's maybe a little bit easier, or that one's tough. Listen, they're all hard. All these 5-game, 2-game, 3-game stretches are going to be really, really challenging.
I, like you, keep all my disparaging thoughts to myself. But boy, do I think of them.
Oh, you think of it.
Ty-Shon Alexander at the line for 2 more. Alexander with 15 now.
Yeah, Greg McDermott had a good line, too, to Andy Katz at going in at halftime. Said that he really liked the shot quality throughout the first half. Just started knocking them down. And so Creighton didn't allow missing shots early to deter their confidence and their plan.
Carter will try the 3. That's way off. Marshall there to clean it up with a rebound and a putback. He's got 21 points and 9 rebounds. But the Jays are getting it done at the line. They'll go back. They're 10 of 11 at the line. They've hit their last 9, and very difficult to come back when you cannot get that done. And hard to come back when Mitch Ballock has the end of first half, beginning of the second half. He did today, Nick.
Well, we mentioned that Creighton was a little cold early. Everybody but Ballock. I mean, Ballock was the guy that's really knocked down shots from start to finish. And look at the difficulty in a lot of those shots. Those are handoffs, kickouts, contested. Weren't too many wide open looks, and Ballock was still able to knock down 5 of 9 from 3.
19 points, 8 rebounds for Ballock. And again, heavy usage for Ballock. He played 39 minutes on Tuesday against Nova, all 40 minutes in the previous game against Butler, and he's at 39 minutes here today.
And usually that can impact, as Scruggs travels, sometimes that can impact your legs and your shot. But not Mitch Ballock here this afternoon.
5 Blue Jays in double figures. Mahoney off the bench with 11.
I like Creighton's gone 1-3-1 here, just to kind of fluster Xavier a little bit as they're attacking, playing kind of frantically. Great a turnover.
21.3 seconds to go. And Jays up by 12. They look like they've salted this one away. Get back on the winning streak after the 2-game skid against Butler and Villanova.
Shot the ball better from beyond the arc, and ultimately Creighton's doing a better job of not being so reliant on the 3. I think their defense and grit has improved, but nevertheless they're a team that they're built from the 3-point line, and so that is an area that has to be there most nights. It was there here today.
Scruggs will try the 3. That one falls too little too late, most likely for Scruggs. They want to check to see a 2 or a 3. They're going to call it a 2, so it is a 2-pointer. So it's 75-63. Well, Creighton, when they win games, Nick, they shoot 39.1% from 3 in all their wins this year. Today, 39.1% from 3. In the losses, they shoot just 23% from 3. And when they go over the 70-point mark, they are unbeaten. And as you look at the score, you see 75. We learned this in early elementary school math. 75 greater than 70. The Blue Jays appear to be on their way to their 12th win of the year when they've reached that 70-point mark.
Again, they're a team that's, some teams are defensive-minded. Creighton's an offensive-minded team. They want to play fast. They want to take a lot of threes. So naturally, that offense has to be there. And that's a pretty telling stat there. I mean, that 70-point mark really kind of will tell the tale for what happens.
They're checking to see 3 or 2 here.
It was called a 2 on the floor.
Yep.
It looks like there might be a little bit of space there. I think that looks like it's a 3.
I think Scruggs is going to get credit for the 3. Another look at it.
And, the reality is, Kevin, that Xavier just needed to have somebody step up and knock down some threes. I mean, of the 25 or so threes that Xavier's attempted, a lot of them have been pretty wide open, good looks, and just haven't been there.
They had a different angle on it. They're calling it a 2. Likely not going to make much difference. Ty-Shon Alexander. 10 seconds remaining and a foul by Najee Marshall.
And I think you might be saying to yourself, you know what, should Xavier just call off the dogs? I think Travis Steele's maybe trying to send a little message that, hey, no matter what, we're going to fight until there's nothing but zeros on the clock.
Marshall has fouled out. Najee Marshall, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Pretty good afternoon. He was the spark that got them back to within 3 at 51-48. But after they got to 3, Creighton scored on 6 consecutive trips. And that basically, for all intents and purposes, ended Xavier's chances of coming back all the way in this game.
Yeah, I think Alexander's little flurry was the biggest flurry of the game.
Here's Scruggs. They'll let him go for that 2. Jays will inbound, and that's going to do it. Creighton will dribble this one out. And for Greg McDermott, a notable win. Career win number 500 for the head man of the Creighton Bluejays. Win number 220 as the Creighton head coach. Win number 500 overall. And it gets a good road win in the Big East, knocking off Xavier 77-65. Coming up next, it's Fox Inside PBC Boxing. For Nick Bod, Andy Katz, this is Kevin Kugler saying so long from Cincinnati. You've been watching Big East Basketball on Fox.